we are getting back in to Adventurers Anonymous and all of my bizarre little pawns upon my giant chessboard that is my world, being scattered about and inconveniently in convenient places. A little bit of both. Does anyone want to do a recap, or do you want me to do? Which?
I would rather you did. But I was going to say, which guys is Masaru in right now?
Still Masaru.
Okay.
Ambassador.
Just wanted to make sure.
Fair enough. But yes, when last we had left off.
Right, we left off.
When last we went.
Oh, well, do you want me to do the entire introduction like this?
Yes.
Oh, well, so, when last we left off in Adventurers Anonymous, our intrepid band had separated to go off and retrieve their supplies. The group had started with Wayne having a lovely conference with Her Majesty Queen Onawayrin, having relayed some of the very important information regarding their exploits in the Underdark with King Zypha, and re-establishing that, yes, in fact, Opal has been possessed, but not by Zypha himself, but by his apprentice. Underwayland has now set out to attend some things with her royal duties. Upon continuing on with our troops, our wonderful Swats and Agime made their way down through the market districts, attempting to find any sort of reconnaissance they could regarding the mysterious strangers having been seen about in the various districts, causing a ruckus. Masaru and Agi learned of two different individuals, one of which seemed to fit the description of the apprentice as they had interacted with him in the Underdark. Before making their way further and further down into the swamp district, they had made their way across the area, procuring some delightfully delicious treats and abandoning the teenager in the process. Making their way through the swamp district, Agi and Swat made a new acquaintance, a jeweler, and had in fact gained some information regarding the location of their crew. Making their way towards the Thieves Guild into the Spoiler's Nest Cavern. In fact, Squatch and Agi were able to find the rest of the crew and were able to send them on their way home, Squatch having a full belly intact after all their adventures. Our final group was in fact the merchant group, having gone to retrieve the supplies and encountering a new friend along the way alone. Making their way back into the city proper, the gate guard had, in fact, given them some new information regarding their strange encounters with the orcs. Getting some more information from Kyrius, the gate guard then assisted them to inspect their information, all of their belongings and everything, and bringing them back into the city of Tatea properly. The group then had...
I need you to say ruckus again.
Ruckus. Ruckus. Ruckus.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
No, that's marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Different tone.
I found supplies a very surprisingly endearing. Yes, that's what I'm going to use.
The surprising amount of supplies?
Yes.
Would you like me to continue assaulting your ears, or would you like me to speak plainly?
Continue.
I believe that was the entire recap, was it not?
Pretty much.
Aside from our intrepid band making their way back towards the palace to reconvene and establish their next course of action. Oh, what?
We should probably do the theme song. Should we not?
Yeah, probably should.
Hold on. Yes. Theme song. 3, 2, 1. Go. Be right back.
And welcome back to all of our dutiful listeners. I'm not sure if I apologize for that or not. Haven't decided yet. Leaning towards not, but we'll see if we get any comments on our invaluable YouTube stream. See what happens. But
I feel
yes.
like you would get far less complaints from doing that than I would.
Considering how long I've been practicing that and how long I've been doing that, be surprised. That is a story for a different day. But Scratch, we will go ahead and we will start with you down at the Thieves Guild, since your partner in lack of crime is not with us this session. We will go ahead. Was there anything else you wanted to do while you were down at the spider's nest down in that area, or were you just going to make your way towards the palace?
Probably just gonna make my way towards the palace. I don't really think there's anything else to do now that we've got the information we are looking for. Or, well, not the information, but the people we were looking for.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's probably best that you go to one of the other groups, since my person is not here at the moment.
Not a duo stream without technical difficulties.
Exactly, it's our trademark.
Absolutely.
We actually haven't had technical difficulties in a while, so it's good that we did have some now.
Every other stream on the planet has to give us a penny every time they have technical difficulties.
I feel like we should get shirts that say technical difficulties loading.
Doomy, is that why I have a bunch of weird people throwing copper coins at me?
I don't know.
No, you just have weird people throwing copper coins at you.
Oh, that's fine then.
But speaking of weird people throwing copper coins at you, back to our group at the Merchant's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we had just gone through customs, haven't we?
Yes, you guys have just gone in through customs. You guys have made your way in. The woman at the gate is now more than a little suspicious of Kyrius, but also isn't willing to say anything because she had also potentially offended the ambassador.
Yeehoo.
And she's not willing to run that risk. And so the terrifying human, potentially orc question mark is now getting a pass. But yes, the four of you now have the cart, you now have salt, you now have a cardboard cutout, and you have your supplies.
First things first, we should just get these immediately to our ship.
I believe we'll have to hail a barge. I don't think we can swim them across, and I'm a little tapped out for teleports.
TM, where do we need to take these supplies?
Well, you need to take them back up to the customs house.
Right.
You guys have just made your way through the gate, so you guys have to go all the way back up through the merchant district. You have to get up to the customs house, get everything registered, and then get a barge.
So we'll do that.
Very good.
I would ask the horses to continue.
Masaru, how stupidly high is your passive?
26.
That's what I fucking figured. So, as you're making your way through, Masaru, the hair on the back of your neck starts to lift up a little bit, and you feel like you're being watched. You get about here with your cart. People are pretty understanding. You guys are trying to get through, so the people that can are moving things out of the way so you guys can get through relatively quickly. It's not uncommon for carts to go through this area, just not normally this time of day.
Can I make an active perception check to see what would make my hair stand on end?
Please do. Masaru, you look around, and for a fleeting moment, you get a glimpse of a man in a black cloak, and he seems to be staring at your group with an intense, burning hatred. Before someone walks by, breaking your line of sight, and he's gone.
Not to cause alarm, but I do believe we might be not hunted, but watched. Should be ready to strike at anything that would jump at us with hostile intent.
Did you see something?
Looked like a robed figure. Couldn't quite identify who it was, but there was definitely a killing intent in those eyes.
Hmm. Let us continue at the same pace so that we don't disturb the market too much, but once we are out of the market, proceed with speed.
Agreed.
All right.
Indeed.
You continue along, and Masaru, you don't get any more of those strange sensations, and you make your way up to the custom house, and you see a different person working the customs house as you approach, and they look up, see you, and you are immediately waved forward. They don't even say anything to you. They just direct you over to one of the boat docks.
Can I roll history to see if that's unusual, if this person is just being lazy?
Go for it.
History?
Yeah. You're pretty sure they're just being lazy. They recognize you. You guys have come through before. You're pretty sure they just don't want to deal with the paperwork.
You know what? Yeah, we're in a rush. We won't bother with the paperwork.
I need to travel with you more often. Almost every port I go to, I get randomly selected for checks. This is nice.
Perks of being an Imperial official.
And it takes just a little bit of time, and everything is loaded onto a barge. You guys are ferried across, and you are once again back at the DAV.
Hooray! Has the ramp or whatever been set up for the ship?
Yes, everything is ready and prepared to go. The winch has been prepared. Everything is all set. You've also noticed that a few of your crew members have started to make their way over to you guys, and they see you, and they give greetings and just check in before starting to load everything onto the ship.
Can I make a quick scan of the crew to see any signs of illness or injury?
Go for it.
Wow, Roll20 is taking a long time to load. Madison?
Yes. Everybody seems fine. A couple people might be a little tipsy, but everybody seems hale and hearty.
I haven't been here as long as you. What is the procedure for people being intoxicated whilst working?
That towards Masaru?
Yes.
Dunk their head in water, make sure they're ready for the night shift instead, considering they're too inebriated to work the day shift.
Oh, we'll have a full shift at night then.
Are you going to assault any of the crew members, Lachlan, or?
I'm not planning on it. I might just reach out and just tap on the head. Do I have my lesser restoration? Yes, with my staff. Just if I see anyone looking particularly unsteady on their feet.
So just to make sure that I have everything correctly, you're going to check over the crew, and if you see somebody who's wobbly, you're going to whack them in the head with your staff.
I said tap.
Gentle bonk.
So you're going to hit someone with your staff.
A tap barely registers as contact.
But you're making contact with someone with your staff.
Yes.
Are you warning them? Are you saying anything, or are you just doing it?
I would say allow me to help you with that wobbliness, sir, or something along those lines.
Okay. Most of the crew that you would, no one seems like they're unsteady on their feet. Everyone seems to be just fine, but you can just kind of get the eau de alcohol, eau de grog, if you will, from some of the people. Just more that they're, they've just got ale on their breath kind of stuff. But nobody seems wobbly.
If no one seems wobbly, that is fine. I don't want anyone who can't stand up straight tying knots.
I mean, they are an air crew, so most of them are probably used to working drunk.
That's a concerning culture.
I mean, pirates, but anyway. But yes, do the four of you make your way back to the palace? Does anyone stay behind? How do we divvy out roles and routines?
Alstrom's gonna stay at the ship to load things up and give it a once-over.
Okay.
This is
I'm going to stay to reorganize my med bay and make it and restock anything that we have in the supplies that aren't in there because they were confiscated.
how long has the ship been impounded?
From what you guys can tell, let's see, how long were you underground? A few days. So you guys, it's probably been about a week.
Can I don't know what kind of check this would be, but you're the DM, so you will tell me. Can I spend some time, and I know it's, a fairly good-sized ship, so it might take me some time, but can I spend some time just walking the ship, checking to make sure everything seems in place and not like it's been tampered with that I would know of, or that anything is out of place other than what I would expect to be out of place from it just being impounded, that kind of thing?
Okay, I will let you know because I don't think you were here for that session. Those checks were done at one point. I know Scratch and Hellstrom both walked the ship.
Okay, never mind then. We're good.
Okay.
I will just go to the kitchen then and start organizing any of the supplies there.
Okay. Nobody wants to go to the meeting with the queen. Got it.
Saru will.
Figured Saru would.
I'm an ambassador. I gotta do my job.
I know. Okay, so Masaru is heading back. Kyrius, Lachlan, and Hellstrom are staying to tend the ship. So we will go ahead Masaru, I will just go ahead and using my magic DM powers. Boop.
Very good.
You make your way over to the palace. You have no issues, no stress, no problems. Nobody harasses you. Nobody tries to sell you anything. You make it over very quickly. And so we will zoom back in a little bit on our royal tea party, if you will. I'm actually going to go ahead and put Malia over here because she would have been talking to the king. Scratch, you and Augie are the first to arrive to the palace, and you make your way up. You make your way up the stairs, and you see two guards standing there, both holding spears, and one looks at you and looks at Augie, and they halt your progress and demand that you state your business.
Hey, my business. I'm here to see Orale.
You're here to see who?
Orale. Tell her Captain Scratch is here.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know your own ruler? What kind of guard are you? Come on. Wasted time.
You're here. Oh, you're here for an audience with the queen. Yes, I believe two of your companions have already gone in. Yes. And you see him quietly mumbling under his breath. And then a moment later, a message comes through, and you are ushered into the palace.
Can I perceive what he mumbled?
Go for it. Give me a perception check.
Yes, the button for perception.
Okay. So, Scratch, as you were watching him, you would have seen him mumble, Kobold at the gate, Furbolg with him, audience with the queen, connected to the tiefling, and then you would have waited and then gotten a response, and you would have been ushered in.
Just wanted to make sure he wasn't saying no shade.
No, he seems, as he seems like more of one of the reliable guards that you guys have run into, the handful that you've talked to. He seems more one of the he's here to do his job, he's here to do his job well, and he doesn't really give a shit about anything to do with anything except his job and his family.
Okay.
And you're escorted in, and a steward comes and greets you, gives you a low bow, and offers to escort you to the waiting room where the Lady Rain is currently waiting for Her Majesty to return.
It's alright. Everyone can calm down. Captain's here. I made it. We found a crew.
Very good, sir. Would you care to relay this information in the waiting room? I believe the lady has tea waiting.
He kind of glanced at Augie for a second.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
Very good, sir. And he escorts you into the drawing room where Rain has been waiting. Rain, while you have been waiting, have you been doing anything, examining any of the books, or just enjoying tea and wine?
I would have been working on that staff list from the old, Farwood staff.
Very good. Yes.
And then I would have gone through the books, yeah.
Very good. So the staff list doesn't take you very long, as essentially high-ranking as the Farwoods were.
Some are aggressively, scribbled out.
Yep. Most of the staff was, nice to you, neutral towards you, not anything super overtly malicious. There were a handful that were overtly malicious, but most of the staff, they thought you were more sickly. They thought that, is, the duty of a noble daughter, fine education kind of stuff.
anyone that snuck me cookies with my dinner was like had a little heart next to them.
Excellent. And then most of the books you find actually about a quarter of the books seem to be fake.
Interesting.
You've pulled a few off the shelf, and the spines are lovely, the covers are beautiful, and inside they are completely blank.
That's wild. Okay.
And then most of the rest of the books are your standard kind of private library affair. There's history books, there's a handful of recipe books, there's a few just kind of your general, what to expect when you're expecting kind of books, self-help books, chicken soup for the soul kind of things. Nothing too scandalous.
That makes sense. This is a waiting room, mostly. They're not going to have any secrets.
Nothing out in the open, anyway.
Nothing out in the open, no.
And then as you're perusing the books, the steward comes in, and he announces to you the return of the captain and the first mate. And in walk Augie and Scratch.
Oh, hey, guys.
We made it.
Get into any trouble?
No, Augie wouldn't let me.
That's probably a good thing.
Where's the orderly?
She's delegating things. I gave her a basic rundown of what's happened since we last saw each other, and she is putting plans into action. So, I don't know, she's doing stuff, queenly stuff.
Good, maybe we can get back on track sooner than I expected.
She said she'd be coming back eventually, so I've just been, hanging out.
Waiting. It's one of my least favorite things.
And while you're waiting, Masaru, it takes you a little bit longer just because, getting back. But you are also greeted at the door. The guard looks at you. Not a word is said. The doors are opened and you are escorted in.
Show off.
However, a different steward attends you at this point. It is a young woman. She comes over and she curtsies low. Ambassador, if you are here to continue your audience with the Queen, unfortunately, her business for the day is currently on pause. She will be back very shortly. However, if you would like to join me in one of the drawing rooms, we can. You are welcome to wait there until she returns. She does have some others that she is attending before you, but she will be with you as soon as she can.
Anyone insight?
Go for it. She's completely telling the truth.
Do you happen to know who the others are in the waiting room?
Oh, it is the Lady Rain Farwood, the Captain Scratch, I believe is his name, and then the first mate, Augie May.
Ah, yes, I have been at least traveling with Augie and the Captain Scratch. If it is no trouble, I would actually like to wait with them.
Yes, of course, sir. Forgive me, sir. I didn't realize that your business included them as well. Yes, please.
It is no trouble. Thank you for letting me know.
And as she leads you into the drawing room, as she opens the door, you see Rain, Scratch, and Augie.
You get pretty much a blank stare from Rain.
Masaru kind of just ignores the blank stare and gives a polite bow to the stewardess and finds a seat.
Very good.
She just doesn't know Masaru very well yet.
Yeah. You've only been dealing with his shadow.
I think this is the second time Rain has technically met Masaru.
Yeah, the first time was very much like passing by.
It was very much like a passing glance kind of deal.
One sec.
Any conversations to be had, or are we passing the time?
Scratch is munching on whatever is available.
Little finger sandwiches, tea cakes, some probably a bowl of sugar cubes.
Raid
Is
would
there
pour
any
Augie just a
potpourri?
little bit of the wine that Ona Leyland had brought out.
Oh, very good. What was that, Gamma?
Is there any potpourri in the room?
No potpourri. It's more of a waiting room, so there wouldn't be really a good area to diffuse it.
Fair enough.
Any good teas?
Is this you asking, or is this Masaru asking?
The player asking if there are any teas in the waiting room.
Oh yes, there's a whole tea spread.
Ah, fantastic. Gonna make himself a cup.
Very good.
I'm gonna have tea
I
myself.
tried. I tried that one earlier. It's fantastic. It's rose with a bit of a hint of something fruity that I can't quite place.
Can I give like a survival or perception scent base to get a idea of what this mystery flavor might be?
Give me a scent-based perception. It's definitely rose, that is for darn sure. You almost want to say chamomile.
Kind of want to say chamomile, but until I actually make myself a cup, I'm not 100% sure. I'm most fascinated now, though.
The closest thing that I can compare it to would be peach, maybe, but my experience of fruit has been limited.
Scratch has used the hot water for the tea to make hot sugar water.
I was wondering how long the sugar cubes were going to last. You will have noticed, Scratch, that the hot water kettle that you were pouring from, it seems to not stop.
Would expect
But-
no less.
But your cup also doesn't seem to ever run over.
Oh, this dangerous.
Yep, that's dangerous knowledge.
That one specific teapot can never seem to pour anything other than the perfect amount of water.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a little bit of time. You guys are waiting for a bell or so, an hour or so. I've been playing too much Final Fantasy, don't mind me. It's infected my day-to-day language. And Anna Leyland comes back, and she breezes in through the doors. They are opened, and she comes in. She's wearing a longer evening gown than before. She's much more done up than you had seen her reign. She's got her jewels on, everything, and she just comes in and she greets you all. She curtsies very low, very formally to Masaru, greeting him as the ambassador first, before turning to Augie, Scratch, and Rain, and giving another low curtsy.
Scratch would bow as well, suddenly wishing he had changed his clothes into definery stuff.
Wow, cuz, is this an average getup, or is there something going on that you didn't mention?
Oh, just, I have another meeting after this, and it's easier to just the one outfit and then move on.
Oh, that's fair enough. It looks great.
Thank you. It's one of the new ones I had made recently. Apparently, the palace tailor was going to be fired, and I have no idea why. Her work is excellent.
Why do I feel like I should know why?
Is it because societal racism within Tethea?
Or is it because we framed her for something?
That's
No,
what I was.
You framed one of the nobles for something. I don't think you framed the tailor for anything.
Oh yeah, one of the nobles with a really, really long, very French name.
We.
I was glad to do that, by the way.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Apologies for undermining your plan as a lawful character.
It all worked out in the end.
I bet you had lots of nice, pretty night clothes made. What's the timeline on you guys popping out heirs anyway? Like little babies. I like kids.
Oh,
Scratch.
well.
Stretch is just glaring at her right now.
Completely ignores that.
Well, we don't have any plans yet. We want to get a few months, maybe a couple of years into running the kingdom before we really start to think about it. There are so many policies we have to go over. Can you believe how horrid this place is to people? I cannot believe it. The amount of policies that are specifically set against the people in the Southern District is ridiculous. That is the first thing going out, and that is going to take months to go through. So we don't want to bring kids into it just yet, but we're thinking probably the next 3-4 years, then definitely we're going to have at least 3 kids. At least.
Rumble.
Okay, well, just make sure you have your affairs in order with the whole apprentice thing going on, and take my advice: limit Greenleaf's access to a lot. She's nasty.
Yes, Adkin had mentioned a few things to me that Malia had brought up, so I definitely gonna have to investigate her a little further.
Yeah, she's not your biggest fan. Far from it, actually. And she's really good friends with, my parents. And even though they were stripped of titles and everything, they still have the blood, so she could try something.
Yeah. Well, she won't be able to try anything, hopefully, very soon. But yes, to try to circle back to the original point of this meeting. Scratch Rain had told me that you guys had more information about what's been going on with Opal and the things that have been happening.
Yes, we do.
For time's sake, he'll open up his little leather book, and he'll just start explaining everything that they found out while they were in the underground, and that they might have a lead on this shadowy person being seen here in the city.
Okay. This is probably the 4th time I have had this brought to my attention today, so this is definitely going to be getting investigated. I know for sure that at least 2 separate shadow people have been seen, so that's being investigated too. Ambassador Masari, there was actually one who kept asking about you.
Let me guess, shinobi-looking individual with a blue demon mask?
At first I thought he was your... What is he, your friend, your companion, your lover?
My shadow?
That one!
Your lover!
She never knew. She doesn't know they're 2 different people.
No. Firstly, you do not need to worry about him. He's fortunately not a threat to the people.
Well, I was less concerned about him being a threat to the people. I was more concerned about him being a threat to you. He seems very... I want to say unhinged, but that feels impolite. Would that be too far?
No, he is unhinged, but he has deemed me an ally, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
Fair enough. But yes, there was another one that would have been seen. Dark black cloak, dark gray, black, whatever cloak, and had just been.
Eyes that they could burn into your soul.
Actually, yes. Now that you mention it.
Yes. Me, the mechanic Hallstrom, Lachlan, and Kyrius had encountered him on our way through customs, or to customs anyways, but only from a distance.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to have our guards double put in. The queen can speak much better than the divine voice from above, apparently, today.
It's okay, my queen, you got this.
Oh, Anna Leyland's your queen now. Oh, interesting.
Scratch shoots a glare at Masaru as well.
Yes, but I will have to have my guards up their patrols because that's not something that can be allowed. I can't have sneaky people skulking around. Was there anything else in particular you guys wanted to bring up to Anna Leyland? Was there any other questions you have?
Yes, just curious, what happened to the noble that stole the ring?
Well, he has been taken to the guardhouse. He is waiting to, well, essentially he's waiting to face a trial. The guards have been questioning him, and he keeps saying that he has no idea. And they have given him, I think they gave him a truth serum, and he's so convinced that he didn't have anything to do with it. It's been very strange, but we all watched it happen.
Yeah, that is really strange. Well, some people just have really good constitution and can resist those kind of magical effects. On another topic,
We sent the teenager away, didn't we?
Yes. Malia is currently off talking to Adkin, and teenage boy, who I know we gave a name and has now escaped me, was back at the boat.
Dalaran.
That one.
So, I'm assuming the Rain has told you about the issue with our ship?
The impounding, yes, that got mentioned to me. That is ridiculous. You guys are my guests. Your ship was never supposed to be impounded.
Were we supposed
I
to be
didn't even know we had an impound. No, you guys, what? Why would you have been interrogated?
Well, you see,
As far as
this square room, and there was this, well,
I can't remember. Player can't remember, but Scratch would remember and describes the lady.
And, she interrogated us, and was not a very nice person, and we ended up having to escape through the sewers and into the forest, and we've kind of been on a run ever since.
I remember the discussion about the sewers, and she kind of casts a look over at Rain.
Yeah, she trapped them in paintings.
Paintings? This investigation is going to have to go much further. I didn't even know there was an area in the kingdom that was like that. And I've investigated and traveled to most of the buildings. That's part of what I've been doing over the last week.
Well, I mean, we could summon her here. I'm sure she wouldn't turn down an invitation from Her Majesty Queen Onale.
No, you shouldn't do that, because then she'll come here and we'll just talk about her, and we'll talk at her about all this stuff, and then she'll even have time to prepare. And when it comes time to actually confront her about things in a way that'll, end with punishment for her, she'll have all these excellent reasons why she did what she did, and how it wasn't actually her, and how all this other stuff happened, and nothing will actually happen. Trust me, I know these noble bureaucrats. You gotta dig up the evidence first.
I mean, we have multiple eyewitness testimonies. Isn't that enough evidence?
Absolutely not. Because you are neither citizens of this country nor nobility. So to her, you don't count at all, which is why she felt comfortable enough to toss you into a painting and do whatever.
Curdle Mac spike tailed. Ugh. So much for that plan.
Well, I have investigators. I have this lovely man who has been helping me with these investigations. He just kind of showed up one day and he offered to assist with the investigation. He'd heard about some deep-seated corruption going on in Tethea, and he's been helping me. Can't remember his name for the life of me, though. I don't think he actually gave me his name.
He's helping you and you don't know his name?
He just showed up.
Well, I asked for his name, and he said, don't worry about it. He's a friend of a friend. And he said something. Oh, he said, that's right, because he mentioned Lachlan. That came up. He said to mention to Lachlan to burn the root. I have no idea what he means by that.
I look at Lachlan. Oh, they're not here, are they? Oh, yeah, they are.
Nope, they're not here.
Nope, they're not there.
Oh.
Where is Lachlan and Kyrius and everybody?
They are still at the ship, Captain.
Why?
Taking care of supplies so that way we may leave as soon as possible.
Yes, we're leaving at nightfall.
Oh, you guys don't want to stay for dinner?
He just kind of slowly turns around. What's for dinner?
Well, we're having a lovely meal. We've got some of the different ambassadors from the area. Actually, Masaru, it's kind of funny. We had another Irikani ambassador scheduled to show up, but he canceled at the last minute. But it was just to establish some treaties and just to get to know kind of the people in the immediate areas to, make treaties and show that I'm hopefully a better queen.
Can I roll history on who might this... Actually, I'll just ask in person. Do you happen to catch the name of this ambassador?
Yes, I believe... I feel terrible because some of the Irikani names can be difficult to pronounce, but he said his name was Kasuga-san, I think he said to say.
Would I know that name?
You, Masaru, would. You would recognize that as someone from House Kasuga, who is another one of the noble houses of Irikani. You have interacted, for who you think it is, you have interacted with the ambassador before. He has kind of been almost like a junior ambassador to you. He is someone that you have worked alongside before. Very charming, very personable. Can be a little growly, but you also know that the Kasuga family is a little more known in certain circles for dealing in less than legal practices. On the front, they are very reputable. They have a selection of various businesses. They have hotel chains. They have a couple clubs. They have a construction company. And underneath that, you, with your connections, know that they also tend to deal in some very shady practices.
I guess you could say they're like a dragon.
They are the people you go to if you need someone, not necessarily taken out, but you need to send a message. Or you need supplies moved.
So I just kind of nod his head going, It's a shame we couldn't have made it. Would have loved to have met with him. He's a good guy.
He did pass on a message that he would hopefully see you soon. Apparently, the Emperor Lunar is planning a banquet and is going to be getting a lot of the representatives. And I have been invited, and you have been invited as well. And he said if he doesn't get to see you, he hopes that I pass along his message.
That was rather kind of him. Hopefully we can see him at the banquet. I know his family is rather busy with so many different businesses.
Yes, it seemed like he got a message and then went sprinting out, apologizing profusely, and just disappeared. But I'm assuming he's a busy man.
Yeah, that sounds like Kasuga.
Scratch just kind of looks at Masaru.
Is this somebody we should meet?
Gives him that knowing look, like... He kind of gets the feeling Masaru knows more than he's letting on.
I mean, it could probably help you with some of your businesses. I help expand your kobold cake business quite well, actually.
I don't know. Kind of on a timetable.
If we stay for dinner, does that mean we get to meet the mysterious stranger who volunteered to help you with the rebellious uprising? Because that sounds sketchy to me. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, I invited. He said he would consider, but he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. But, I mean, it would just be a smaller, intimate affair with me and my husband, a handful of the ambassadors, and you all if you opt to come. You know, small family gathering.
I think we should definitely at least meet this guy before we leave. Scratch.
Probably a good idea to meet a mysterious benefactor, especially if they're going in with a room with important individuals and this person is relatively unknown. Sounds, no offense, my queen, but a little suspicious.
No offense taken. The only reason I trusted him is he brought up you guys.
Meanwhile, Scratch is just standing there making little rumbling noises as he's trying to think out what to do.
Like, benefactor. Was this benefactor wearing a black suit?
He was actually, yes.
Well, that narrows it down.
Kind of
Alright.
gaunt, pale, proper voice.
No, definitely not proper. Real snarly, almost. Darker skin, you know, red eyes, white hair, you know, standard drow features.
We'll stay, but someone has to go and tell the crew to be ready by first light, and tell Kyrius and Lachlan to come back here.
I could collect them. I'm pretty light on my feet.
He kind of motions Masaru. Kind of motions Masaru to come down a little bit lower.
Masaru kneels down.
You go back to the ship. I need you to tell Salt to activate Protocol 15B7.
What does that do?
It activates Protocol 15B7.
I'm trusting you on this very well.
Thank you. Alright, well, if we're staying, I should probably get washed up. We have been in a sewer and underground for a few days, and the sugar's starting to kick in.
Yes. Leyland kind of looks at the now empty bowl of sugar. I did wonder where the sugar cubes went.
It's in a very safe place.
Is that safe place your stomach?
Yes.
But yes, I can have rooms ready for you. You guys will be able to freshen up. You'll be able to relax. It'll be a few hours and then dinner, normal affair. It shouldn't take too long, but it'll be fun. It'll be a nice crew experience. It's been a while since we had one of those. And she pulls a bell out of her sleeve and rings it a few times, and 2 stewards come in, stand at the door, and await further orders. She turns to them. Please escort my friends to the private chambers we have reserved for guests. They will be staying for tonight. Make sure that fresh clothes are prepared should they need, and that soap and everything has been restocked.
You'll probably also want to send someone to collect our friends from the ship so they can join us.
Masaru said he'd take care of that.
Huh. I must have missed that. My apologies.
It's
No
okay.
worries, Lady Rain. It has been a long day, I've heard, for you guys.
And I was preoccupied by the stranger. Something in that sounds weird and off and familiar to me, and I just can't quite figure it out.
Masaru is going to take his leave and kind of make a quick pace to the airship.
All right.
Those fast step, but not like sprinting. Don't want to be too conspicuous.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
But yes, we will transition over to our ship crew. If there was anything in particular you guys were looking to do, I know everybody was just kind of looking to organize and sort and restock.
Lachlan is having a shower.
Fair. Prestidigitation can only get you so far.
When Masaru arrives, Lachlan's hair would still be out, and it would be so curly.
Was there anything that Hellstrom was going to do? Anything in particular that Kyrios was going to do? Or just kind of general maintenance?
Hellstrom's going to give a look over to Yorick. Maybe check his memory bank, see if there's... He did have to travel quite a good distance, see if a bird or something pecked at him.
So you can hunt it down with prejudice.
With the flying skull, I'd kind of be freaked out if I saw that.
Well, I mean, no, that Hellstrom can hunt down the bird.
Oh, yes.
With extreme prejudice.
Yes, you don't touch Yorick.
Okay. Let's see.
Scratch would be unloading that arcane cannon.
Scratch would be unloading the arcane cannon, or Salt would be unloading the arcane cannon?
Unloading the arcane cannon.
Okay, that makes more sense. Scratch can teleport. I mean, I know Scratch can teleport, but that's fast even for him.
Yeah, it would take a while to get back there, but yeah. Salt is unloading the arcane cannon and taking it to Scratch's workshop.
Very good, very good. Let's see.
Kyrios is not doing anything in particular. I guess if the kitchen was finished being organized and set up, he probably would have retired to his room to read some of the books he had gotten from the bookstore before they ever went underground that he never got a chance to read.
Very good. Yes. So the kitchen was, everything had been cleared out. Some of the stuff had definitely spoiled, so that had been thrown out. But you were able to restock it pretty easily. You don't have any, nothing too crazy, nothing too weird. Nothing has come alive and started wreaking havoc along the ship. It's Lachlan's job. And
What about my job?
Your job is to create things that come to life after being left alone for a week and cause havoc along the ship.
Technically, they were alive to begin with. They just needed to be pruned every day.
But yes, so Hellstrom, you would find Yorick's files. Through his trek, you notice that a lot of forest, a lot of caves, pretty uneventful journey.
Shooting any errant birds?
Couple birds, but nothing went after him. You did see him. You did see that a few people saw him and were rightfully terrified, but nobody tried anything because he was gone too quickly. But yeah, he's just kind of been hanging out in your lab.
Very good. It is good to see that this realm has not accosted you too much. You did a good job escorting I believe they called him a prince.
Ah, yes, that's right. Because we had retroactively decided that Beneo had also gone with you, as well as the baby.
And the baby got hurt and said, I don't like this.
Yeah. And the baby has now been escorted off of the boat. He does not want to go back to the boat and is now making his way back towards the Imperial Palace.
Very good.
Beneo has gone off on his escort. He got his big adventure, it wasn't what he wanted, and now he's going to go home. And he's going to hope that his friends are okay. But yes, Miss Aro, it doesn't take you too long to get back to the impound lot. And you're able to get over pretty quickly. You make it through customs relatively quickly. The same person who was there before, who didn't want to deal with the paperwork, is still there and still doesn't want to deal with the paperwork. And so you're escorted pretty quickly over. You make it in unaccosted. Your crew escorts you up, and you are able to collect Lachlan and Kyrius for sure. Are you collecting Hellstrom?
I will after I go down to Scratch's room to do the task I was requested of.
Ah, yes.
Can I actually, and if it's too late, that's fine, but can we rewind time just a second? I would like to ask a favor of Lachlan before Miss Aro gets there.
I don't see any reason we can't rewind a little bit.
So I'm gonna, after I get done straightening the kitchen up, before I go to my room, I'm gonna go to Lachlan and I'm just gonna ask, Doctor, do you have some form of bowl or crucible, perhaps, something that can withstand high temperatures that I could melt some metals in?
You're better off asking Hellstrom. I have ways to heat metal, but what's the project?
I collected these flowers earlier, and I'll pull out some of the flowers that I had put between the pages of my journal, and I'm gonna show them. I was just wanting to kind of coat them in gold and jewels, and just to make them more gilded, to say. And so I was going to melt down some of the gold that I have to do so, but I need something to be able to do that in.
Hellstrom or Scratch might have what you're looking for. I can give you a space to work, though. My lab has pretty resilient bench tops that are not made of wood.
I might take you up on that. I will go and talk to Hellstrom.
All right. Hellstrom is
And
a short walk away.
I will make my way there. Hellstrom, I know we haven't had a lot of chance to interact, just you and I, but I was hoping for a favor if you would be able to accommodate me.
It depends on the favor.
I'm looking for a crucible, perhaps, or some kind of small bowl or container that would allow me to melt down some metal, particularly gold. Lachlan said you might have one.
It sounds like a trivial matter. I have many supplies for crafting. Hellstrom's gonna actually rummage through his smith's tools.
Very good. It takes you just a moment, Hellstrom, but you do, in fact, have a crucible.
This could help you with your project, depending on what it is.
So I want to take it and inspect it. Is this a container that's big enough to melt down about 300 gold pieces worth of gold?
If not the little crucible, he definitely has an entire forge in his workshop.
Yeah, the crucible itself would probably not, but if you relay that information to Hallstrom, he probably tells you he has a forge.
Would you be willing to let me use it for a little bit? Not today necessarily, but at some point in the near future.
To pursue the art of crafting is a noble one. I would be happy to let you use it.
Okay. I have some more studying to do on the subject to make sure that I can do it correctly, but and I show him some of the flowers as well. I plan on gilding some of these flowers that I picked earlier. It's not a project I've done before, but something that I'm interested in doing.
On his way back to his med bay, Lachlan would pop in and say, Curious, I have something for you.
Okay.
I put a jar, I hold a jar out.
I take the jar. This is what?
Burn cream.
Burn cream.
If you're going to be messing around with molten metal, you should have some on hand.
Carius kind of looks at the jar and then looks back to Lachlan and just kind of nods.
There are also heat-resistant gloves, aprons, and goggles for the intense heat and sparks.
I may need assistance in how to work the forge when it comes time, if that's available.
Absolutely. It would even be a good learning experience for our new apprentice. Whose name I totally remember.
Alarin.
Alarin.
Okay. Once we're back in the air and have some more time, I'll reach out and see if that's something we can do.
I look forward to it.
And with that, I will excuse myself and then go to my room and start reading for when Masaru comes back.
Excellent. And it would be just a little while later that Masaru makes his way to the ship, onto the ship, collects the crew, and dispatches his missive to Salt.
With that, I am going to get off here, though, and go to sleep.
Have a good night, RJ.
Well,
Good night.
Once Salt has been given the order, he actually begins to work with the arcane cannon at Scratch's workshop or work table.
Okay.
Yep, he just starts to work on something that he was pre-programmed with.
Okay. Anything I, as your DM, need to worry about, or?
We've already talked about it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It's
I'll
just
Protocol
making
15B7 or whatever it was.
that was actually it, 15B7.
Hey, hell yeah.
Very good.
But yes, Halsham's gonna collect the main crew for this meeting. Halstrom included, if he's willing.
Is Hallstrom willing?
After working on Yorick, making sure there's no damages, checking his memory banks. Yes.
Do you have any idea how tempting it is to make you RP that out with yourself?
Wait, don't make me RP with two separate characters.
I'm a benevolent god. I won't make you this time.
I mean,
Thank you,
if
generous
Critical
God.
Role can do it all the way across the table for all their people, I mean,
Yeah, but I'm not Critical Role. I'm just a guy who's way too obsessed with 40k.
You are, in fact, just a little guy.
Just a little guy. Not that big.
He's just a little guy, even. Just a little guy.
How's he supposed to keep the rift closed? He's just a little guy.
Why you need a big guy like Augie. They can close the rift.
I think even Augie might struggle with the Cicatrix Maledictum.
I don't know, with God and anime on their side, I believe in them.
If anybody can do it, Augie can do it. Alright, so then we will go ahead. We will time skip a little bit forward.
Just a little bit before the time skip, I have a single question.
I have a single answer.
Ambassador seems to be muted.
The ambassador was indeed muted because he was checking the oven.
Ambassador, do you think Scratch knows that Stolt has started referring to him as father?
I am unsure. I do not know if if Scratch would like that or not. Not sure on the kobold's opinion on family.
Do you think we should tell Scratch?
Let him find out.
Okay.
Masara gets to be a little bit of a tricksy guy as a treat.
I may be an Imperial professional, but deep down, I am still a tricky fox.
Very good. And yes, now we shall time skip forward to dinner.
Is Rylan there?
So, it's been a few hours. You guys have all had the chance to rest, to relax, to change into nicer clothes. And one by one, you have been summoned into the Imperial dining room, where you see Her Majesty Queen Onalalan sitting at the head of the table with her beloved husband at her side. You see there are a handful of who you assume to be dignitaries, ambassadors, representatives of a handful of the different countries of the area. And you all see a very familiar looking drow sitting next to Adkian.
I thought so.
Oh, beep beep.
You see a very familiar looking drow, dressed in his best, nice pressed black suit, red tie, red pocket square, having a lovely conversation with two of the dignitaries who look like they have seen either a ghost or the boogeyman.
Rain is visibly relieved.
Masara, did you pass on the message that he asked?
What was the message I was going to relay?
Onalalan had given you a message from the mysterious benefactor to give to Lachlan, which was burn the root.
Ah, yes. Player totally forgot. Character wouldn't have forgotten because he's much smarter. He has a much higher instat than me.
Better.
I actually need to make a roll on that. I'm gonna just do a flat intelligence roll. I'm gonna question that before burning the root because I don't think I would have made the connection with the amount of information that was passed on to me.
You're also not sure which root he's talking about. You have more than one in your collection.
Well, okay. I, as a player, know exactly which route is being talked about because I know the character who told me to burn it. However, and, yeah, if Lachlan could infer from information that it was Rylan who gave that instruction, they would have done it immediately. However, Lachlan would walk up and say, "Hello."
You haven't even been announced into the dining room yet. You're just going to completely forsake social decorum? Wow.
I was raised in a small town on the edge of society.
I'm being a smartass. But yes, as you walk in, Lachlan, and you say hello, you are in fact ignored by the person that you all recognize to be Rylan. And it takes just a moment for the steward who had been escorting you to kind of regain his composure before announcing you all as Her Majesty Queen Leyland's important guests of the evening, the crew of the Invictus Sanctum. Now, Rylan looks over to you, Lachlan, holding a glass of wine. Hello, Doctor, and how are you today?
Feeling less mad, which is good. You may be happy to know your brother struck your other name from the record.
Don't bring up my brother in polite company. It's rude.
Is there a difference in how polite company can be?
I mean, we wouldn't want to turn all of our potential new allies immediately against us, now would we? We've barely sat down for appetizers.
Assuming that the seating is assigned, Rain would go looking for her spot.
Seating does seem to be assigned. Rain, you are seated next to Masaru, who is seated next to Rylan.
Cool. I would just kind of nod to Rylan.
He nods and tips his glass. Do
So I
either
can
one of you
pretend you've
help
never
the
met him.
others? Do either one of you help the others figure out where they're sitting?
Masaru would try to.
Okay.
If asked, yes.
Fair enough.
I would like to make an intelligence check to see if I can figure it out on my own.
Go for it. You can make a pretty good guess.
I'm where in the social order?
Okay. So with this, Lachlan, I will give this to you. You know it would go Masaru, Rain, Scratch, Augie, you, Kyrius.
I guess that makes sense. That doesn't mean I'm not offended.
It's social decorum. And you all will have noticed that there is an empty seat actually across from Masaru.
I know who the seat was for.
You can guess pretty easily that it would have been Kasuga-san.
Yeah.
You two are the only representatives from Irakani, so.
Fair.
And Marlon kind of... What?
Lovely weather we're having.
Oh, what's the matter, Masaru? Are you already so disappointed to be seeing me again?
Sir, we have never met.
Sorry, you look like someone I've met. But I digress. Yes, members of Invictus Sanctum, how are you doing this fine evening? I hear you've been busy.
We saw a relative of yours recently.
Much like I
Say
said
hello.
to the doctor, my dear, please don't bring my brother up in polite conversation.
I said relative.
I don't have many of those.
I seem to recall you have quite a few.
Fair enough. But I'm sorry I interrupted you. Yes, continue.
They say hello.
Great. fantastic.
And also that you should come visit them sometime.
I bet they say that. Any exciting developments in your little pet project there, Captain Scratch?
Which one might you be referring to?
The one that you came seeking my aid for with that lovely silver metallic-y crystal you had.
No real breakthroughs as of recently. Nothing all that wonderful to report on. Hold on.
Game. You will have to let me know if you come up with anything interesting.
Lachlan has no poker face.
What are we trying to deceive here?
I mean, I have had some breakthroughs with the silver crystal, but not telling them that.
Oh yeah. He can kind of read it on your face. Lachlan, what are you just trying to keep your poker face?
So, if I remember correctly, Scratch was still hiding that he had the silvery crystals.
You guys had seen them, but you didn't know what they did. Because
Yeah.
he had pulled them out and had essentially handed one to Rylan, who just kind of held it and looked at it, and then gave it back.
He also threw one at the dragon, and it seemingly had no effect.
In that case, my deception is to make it look like I'm not listening intently.
You are failing. But yes, how is my favorite little pet project doing? Besides the advancements with your little crystal thing, any new developments in your investigation? Anything fun? Anything exciting?
I'm not really sure that's proper conversation for this table.
Oh, the dignitaries? Fair. But yes, I've been informed that you all know my new friend Anna Leyland. Wild stories I've been hearing.
I'm sure. If only we'd heard similar.
Oh, I can't believe she wouldn't have mentioned me. Mysterious benefactor dressed in black. I know you all just had such a great time with those.
Yes, well, she did mention that you'd refused to give her your name, so that did draw some alarm.
In my defense...
Why is it?
Yes, Doctor.
Why is it that you told me to burn the root? I would assume you were talking about the underdark licorice.
My best advice for you, for that, Doctor, is you're not the only one who has access to it.
Is it that the number of times you use a door makes that doorway weaker and makes the path easier to traverse?
Something to that effect, yes.
Right.
And let's just say keeping the door handle around can also sometimes bring you more than a little misfortune.
What
There's
if
only
it's
so
in
many doors.
What if it's in an astral storage container?
The handle still exists, Doctor. There's still paths that can be followed.
I suppose I trust your advice.
But yes, we are here for a lovely meeting with some lovely dignitaries. They don't need to know all of my life stories, all of my secret projects. So how about we have a lovely dinner and you all can regale me with tales of things on the surface from the last however fucking long it's been since I've had company. Not really long enough. Look, it isn't my fault you people are the most entertainment I've had in a while. Surprising how intriguing it made the surface.
Have you heard how I re-entered Ona Leyland's life?
I heard you came crashing through the windows, my dear, and I must say, excellent showmanship. Proud. Just deep sense of pride.
Oh yes, let me give you all the details, and I'll just start chatting with Rylan about that.
Oh, very good. He's just got the glass of wine, despite however many drinks he's taken from it, always seems to be at the same level. Just enraptured. The dignitaries across the way from you guys are kind of... They're all a little stunned, and they're all a little concerned. Because this is a very powerful drow just casually sitting here, and he looks a concerning amount like Dark Lord Cypher, but just different enough that nobody's sure if he is or isn't. And dinner goes by, and you guys are served appetizers, tiny clams with tiny forks, lemon and garlic and butter sauce. Ona Leyland has been chatting away, just kind of updating you guys. The dignitaries attempt to make conversation, but mostly they kind of just sit quietly.
Masara's going to try to make polite conversation with any of the dignitaries, try to like schmooze some up, or not really schmooze them, just like convince them to like work with the do my job.
Okay.
Establish trade agreements and such.
Okay. Damn. The rain has picked up. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is coming down heavy on our side.
I
actually
can
hear it
on
my
your oven.
It's actually
That
just
I
our
heard
thermometer.
beeping
It's not actually
in the distance on my end.
It's not actually the oven timer. It's just a really nice thermometer that we have. But yes, Masaru, the dignitaries, as you start to converse with them, they kind of relax a little more, realizing that, oh, hey, this one's not totally nuts. And by that, not actually potentially in league with the Dark Lord Cypher. Fair enough.
Lachlan would be enthusing about the medical profession and talking about some of his medical stories.
Okay. Actually, Lachlan, the ambassador from Jankali is very interested in going over with you the differences in the medical practices from where you are and from, their realm, and the difference in the comparisons, and is just having a very, very enthusiastic conversation with you.
As this is going on, about halfway through dinner, I would be like, wait, I need to get something. I would take off my cloak, stand it up, go through the door, come back with medical textbooks, slam them on the table. They clear stuff out of the way and start rifling through for references.
He's a portly man, little rounder about the body, human as far as you can tell, and is just enraptured with some of the things that you bring up, some of the things that you discuss. And he starts to pull out a small notebook before he stows it after a moment. Oh, no, there's no need for notes right now. No, this is just a friendly conversation between acquaintances, between potential friends. You know, you seem the kind of fellow to, I don't know, help the sickly, I guess? Isn't that what doctors do, is help the sickly?
Oh, indeed. I love the challenges. I mean, I deal with many different species, and they have different physiologies and different cultural requirements as well. Did you know that, apart from what you would think, drow have nearly mirrored physiology in comparison to high elves?
Oh. So you're saying, what does that mean, man? Are you saying that it's like a mirror? Are you telling me his heart's on the other side? I didn't know drow had hearts half the time.
Lachlan just closes the book. Everyone is deserving of service and of treatment.
Well, yes, of course, everyone is deserving. I mean, that's how you make your money, isn't it? Isn't that what doctors do? I've implemented some fantastic new policies. My queen, I believe you and I should have that discussion. My king would be most happy to hear your opinions on how was it phrased to him recently? Oh yes, privatizing the medicine.
Can Halstrom shoot this man?
Well, I make very little money. Usually I just ask people pay for the ingredients for their treatment, or at least the costs of creation.
Oh, but think of how much more you could make if you were to charge them for the services as well. How much you could cycle back into your little practice and, you know, improve everything. Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing?
I rely on exterior funding. I'm just like eyeing Halstrom.
Yeah,
as it looks like.
Is anybody going to try to stop Halstrom from loading the arc rifle with malicious intent?
Nope.
Do you know much about plasma cauterized wounds?
No, I don't think I do. I've never had a cauterized wound. What is a cauterized? I don't think I've heard of that.
test?
I suggest that you keep your voice down with those particular opinions around my friend. He's less polite than I am.
What? It's a warforged, isn't it? Doesn't it just listen to what you tell it?
Can I remove my plate my mask plate to show my human face for intimidation? Halstrom's tired. He's not in a mood. I have no charisma.
You don't need it.
Panpipes would just be subtly doing a little jig in the background. Chaotic pan sound starting.
Given how horrifying your visage must be, I'm guessing you'd get advantage at the very least.
I wasn't even gonna make him roll.
Honestly, I think with the way that members of the tech cult look, their intimidation should be with Constitution.
I'm not even gonna make him roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halstrom, you remove your faceplate, and for, I think, everyone at the table, this is the first time you have seen Halstrom's actual face.
It is very old and gray, as his human blood has been replaced with coolant and oil in his veins. This is a man who has lived for way longer than one should for human life.
Rain doesn't even bat a fucking eye.
Excellent. Does anyone else want to roll deception to try to keep your poker face, or is...
I'm using
or
medicine to keep my poker face, if that's okay.
Go for it, you are good. Scratch or Masaru, do either one of you want to attempt to keep your poker face?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you need me to roll?
For you, go ahead, give me deception. Same thing for you, Masaru.
Oh boy, deception. I'm good at that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
me
laugh
too.
if you fail.
I'm better than Masaru.
I'm decent at
something.
that. We have the same modifier for deception.
I still did better than you.
Yeah, you just rolled worse.
Yeah, I did. Thank you,
Oh.
reliable talent, for not letting me roll below a 10.
Lachlan's just going to take off their glasses and say, without witness, without reward, whoever asks, whoever needs me, I treat them.
Yes, well. Masaru, you are able to keep your composure, but it is a very near thing.
I'm just gonna, pointedly pretend to talk to someone else.
You're gonna, very much try to make conversation with any of the other dignitaries.
Pretty much.
Very good.
I'm going to go up and I'm going to walk to the king and queen.
Adkian looks fine. Anna Leyland does not. She looks very distinctly green.
I dig into my pocket and I pull out a. I am blanking on herbal red. I pull out a piece of crystallized ginger. And I give it to Anna Leyland. It'll help. Your Majesties, I would like to talk to you about non-privatized healthcare and the importance of making sure everyone can benefit from whatever medicine that they require.
Absolutely. I feel like that will be a lovely conversation we can have later on. Absolutely.
There we go. I posted it in Chitty Chat.
Very good.
Eat the ginger.
Well,
It will help.
yes. So, did we, aside, well, let's avoid any of the heavier topics for now, shall we?
That is a good idea. He says, putting the mask back on.
Thank you, Hellstrom.
Of course, Your Majesty.
Has anyone had any exciting adventures recently? Any fun stories to tell?
You're looking at it.
About that.
Oh?
Where to begin? Captain?
Ha, I'm just enjoying the show.
We fought a dragon.
One corrupted by of shadow and necrotic nature.
Oh, was that like the white dragon that we had fought before, Scratch?
This one was dead, and when we killed it, it kind of turned into goo. Well, actually, that's not a very good description, because a lot of things we fought back in the day turned to goo.
There was a lot of goo.
Those times were my fault, but this time wasn't my fault. Actually, I think I still have some of the goo from all the times, and he starts to fish around in his pack.
You can see Anna Leyland is looking at the various bottles, just absolutely enraptured because, some of those she was there for, of course.
I actually do have goo. I still have spark sprites too. Demon ashes, 2 pounds of peppered bacon, opal,
Pocket bacon.
opal dust, yeah, I got a flask of gray ooze sludge. flasks of human/acid goo.
Very good.
So yeah, there's a lot of pieces of things that we fought.
Trophies, if you will.
Yeah. Things for study.
She asks you a few questions about, some various pieces that she doesn't recognize, trying to get the conversation back to lighter topics.
And Scratch would tell the stories of things. This is what I picked up after we blew it up. This is what I picked up after we melted it. This is what I picked up after we electrocuted it.
One was riddled with holes from both of our firearms. I remember that one.
Yes, exactly.
I'm in the process of constructing a gliding suit out of some bone devil wings.
So many fond memories of killing.
So many kills, so little time.
So dinner passes, and the night goes on. Rylan has loosened up a little bit. Masaru, you would notice this most distinctly.
Mhm.
He actually seems to be getting drunk.
I didn't think that was possible.
There is a downside to the never-ending glass.
Yeah.
There is no bottom.
There is no bottom on that glass.
You can't tell how many glasses in you are.
Wonder if I can. Now's a good time to talk to him
The
about shadow
only-
techniques.
Go for it.
By
If
the
you
way,
want to.
Scratch
What?
is probably going to try and steal that teapot.
You could
I-
probably just ask for it.
I expected it.
I'm surprised you didn't go, hey, DM, as we leave, I want to steal the teapot.
Well, if we were going to dinner, it would be missed very quickly. So you can't steal it before dinner. You have to steal it after dinner, because then there's a whole night before it'll be missed.
Oh, fair enough.
And yes, could have asked for it, but how much fun is that?
Fair enough. But are you really willing to steal from Onalalan?
It's not from her. It's from the palace. It's
It's
not her
her
personal.
palace.
It's not her personal teapot. I'm sure they
You
got
don't know
5 back on the shelf.
You don't know that that's not her personal teapot. If you steal it, I'm gonna make it her personal teapot just to make you feel guilty.
That would make him feel guilty. Now he has something that was personally hers.
Yeah, but he's stolen something from her, and it wasn't her heart.
One step at a time.
But yes, Masaru, did you want to try to talk to Rylan about shadow magic stuff while his lips are a little looser?
I'm certainly going to try.
Okay. What questions do you ask him?
Lord Rylan, I believe my shadow told me about an interesting technique of yours.
He just kind of looks at you and just kind of squints. Right, we're playing this game. Yes, I have many techniques.
Your ability to manipulate and go through shadows.
Oh,
He was
yes.
most interested in it.
What do you want to know? He kind of looks at the glass. How many of these have I had? I don't care.
Rain is making
technically you have only had one.
no effort to hide how interested she is in this conversation.
I've only had one. This has been a very large glass.
It is a bottomless one, my lord.
Do you tell him that?
Yes.
He sets it down immediately. That is dangerous. Anyway, I'm... Oh my god, how many of those have I had? Anyway, back to shadow bullshit. So shadow bullshit, and he kind of looks over at the dignitaries, and you should know this too. Shadow bullshit is very easy, because everybody has a fucking shadow. Including you. You've got shadows for days. You've got what, 4? How many of you are there? 4? 2? I don't care. There's enough of you people here that this works. But yes. Shadow bullshit. You cause it's like a door. Much like your doctor playing with things that they shouldn't be playing with. You can open a door into a shadow. Since there is one door, there is another door. You have to go through the other door. If you don't go through the other door, you have to go back out the first door. There's many doors in this analogy. I hope you are paying attention. Take a shot every time I say door.
Sorry, doesn't take a shot, but he is paying close attention.
Very good. Very good. Anybody, if you put your mind to it, can open the door. You don't need to be me, who has been alive for way too long. You don't need to be me, who has way too much magic in my body than I want. You don't need to be me, who has had to live in shadows for way too long. Now, to open the door through the shadow, you have to find the handle. Normally people like your doctor use hallucinogenics. It's not hard to do. However, he picks up his wine glass and takes another long drink. However, you have enough time, energy, patience, and bullshit. Bullshit is a very important part of this lesson. I hope you're paying attention.
Some people have told me I have a lot of bullshit, so maybe me and my shadow are at luck in helping to restore this art.
Are we really playing this game? Whatever, we're playing this game.
He gives him a look.
He is... You're noticing that he's a little drunker than you thought. Whatever, I don't care. Play your game, win your prizes, I don't care.
I'm gonna have Hallstrom instead, if you're not careful, my lord, I will have Hallstrom harsh your buzz.
Oh, I would love to see him try. I would enthusiastically love to see the scary doctor and the pan flute doctor try to harsh my buzz. I will pay you any amount of money you want if they can succeed.
9th level lesser restoration.
Let's go.
He's not. Halstrom's doesn't really care.
But I digress. Yes, you need to have the bullshit. Bullshit is important. And you have to be able to find the handle to the door. Most people don't know about this because most people aren't as attuned to the shadows as I am, and you and your little friend, your fuzzy friend. You're the one with the fuzzy friend, right?
Correct.
Very good. Have your fuzzy friend teach you. You peer into the shadow, you become one with the shadow. You have a shadow that's attached to your feet. Sometimes it's not attached to your feet, but that's usually when you're underground or you're up in the air. So you have a shadow.
Depending on the story, it runs away from you.
It was one time, and I got it back.
Oh my god, so was that story based on you? Did you have to sew your own shadow back on you?
He fought me on it, and I won. That's all the important part of it. Anyway, do you want to know how to do the bullshit?
Yes.
Very good.
We'll make a fun parlor trick.
It's a very fun parlor trick. So all you have to do is, and as he says that, he kind of slides backwards with his chair into his shadow and pops back out across the room. Ta-da!
Can I roll Arcana to try to see if I can understand that?
Go for it.
Same.
Go.
Damn it!
Do I see this happen?
I mean, he's not hiding it. He just slides backwards into his shadow and then pops out across the way.
Man, my dice hate me.
You're not even rolling dice.
I'm not with you.
Look, Roll20 hates me.
Are you trying to figure out how he does it too, Lachlan?
No, I just I assume that I see just shadow, and I'm like, what? Oh, it's fine.
Pretty much. But yes, Masaru, it happens too quickly for you to notice.
Yeah.
But Rain, you are able to catch it, and you actually see, just for an instant, his shadow opened like a portal. And he slid through, and then came out the other side.
Just gonna like slight narrowing of the eyes. Thoughts running through her head. Considering staring at Rylan.
He is still holding the wine glass, picked up his chair and is kind of wobbling back towards you.
How did he put it down? Because it was dangerous.
He picked it back up, took another drink, and then he didn't put it back down. He comes over, he plunks the chair back down, he sits in it. Any questions?
Nothing I could think of off the top of my head. I'm gonna remember this so I can replay it in my head to study.
Very good. Ask your little fuzzy friend. Ask any of your friends. Anyone here. You all can do it. It's not hard.
Rain's still calculating. She's now just staring at a shadow on the floor. It's like,
And it seems perfectly solid.
Lachlan is both smart enough and dumb enough to attempt this.
You're gonna try to go backwards through your shadow and pop out in a different one?
No. Lachlan would, who's to the right of me?
No one. I'm sorry, Carius.
Curious. I'd pull out a gold coin, cast light on it, and say, Curious, could you hold this up? And so that it casts a shadow of me on that wall.
He does so.
Do you reckon this takes a run-up?
Definitely.
Oh, it's nonchalant before.
Real fucking
Yes.
fast. You gotta be going real fast the first time you do it.
Okay.
Fast as you can.
I will say, sorry for the disturbance, folks. I'm going to attempt a magic trick. Take the longest run-up I can, and completely trusting that I will be able to do it perfectly the first time, I would not slow down or flinch.
Very good. You run face first into the wall. With a rather satisfying wrench.
Oh! Is my nose bleeding?
It is in fact bleeding, and Rylan is now laughing so hard he has now fallen out of his chair.
I would reset my nose and then fix it with just a little bit of healing. Oh, why didn't that work? Not enough speed?
Definitely not enough speed. You definitely need more speed, bud.
I'm not entirely sure if I've been drinking or not. I don't think I'm going to attempt this again tonight. I am, however, just going to be standing and staring at my shadow for a while.
Okay.
Let's see. Masara's kind of making a contemplative look. I think I get it now.
You think you got it? You think you got it? Please, make sure to get the running start. This is the best part.
So yeah, I'm gonna use the new item I have equipped to just melt into my own shadow and out of Ryland's.
Very good. He kind of looks at your shadow. He kind of looks at where you were, back to where you are, up at you. I'll be fucking damned. Holy shit.
Said anyone could do it. giving a big smile. An almost
Holy
fox-like smile.
What are you trying to insight there, dear doctor?
The I'll be damned suggests that it was way harder than he was making it seem.
Oh, 100. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh.
Ugh. I swear I haven't had a drink. Why do I feel so fuzzy?
Doctor, it's just you need a faster head start.
It might be because you hit the wall very hard.
No, I fixed that, I think. I was fuzzy before that.
So something like that, Lord Ryland.
Uh-huh. This is a good parlor trick. I'm impressed. And with that, he kind of stands, taking the wine glass with him, very wobbly bows to Onalalan. And with that, new friends, new acquaintances, new accomplices, new dignitaries. I'm going to bed. And he walks out.
I'm sorry. We'll take his. We'll walk back to his seat.
Rain is like still mostly in her head trying to puzzle it out. She's like slowly touching her finger to the table and meeting her like shadow with it.
And you're just getting resistance.
She's not discouraged. She's just more interested.
Very good.
I would lean over and say, maybe it has to do with density. How heavy is a shadow?
Technically, you can make it as heavy as you want. You can even make it sharp.
Wait, isn't a shadow the absence of light? How can you move through an absence of something?
Shadow is the absence of light, but it is also a realm. We
like the
you and Yurei have seen this this realm.
Player trying to remember. When did we see the Shadow Realm?
When you lost a card game. No, but in actuality, it was from what I heard in the report.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm going to kill you.
No, but in actuality, it was from what I read in the report from Yurei. It was when you had fought that dragon.
Oh, it's through the portal.
Does that tidbit of knowledge like snap anything together in Rain's brain or anything?
Take your tippy tap.
Don't worry about it.
I'm worrying about it.
Good.
Why are there panpipes everywhere? Why am I always hearing panpipes?
But
Perhaps you're the one that needs a doctor.
It's terminal.
Rain, the mention of the portal, it kind of sparked something that you had seen with Ryland's shadow, but it doesn't quite feel right. That seemed like that was very different types of shadows.
Maybe it's about becoming a shadow? Then shadows can move faster than light because they empty the space in which the light was.
I don't know. I'm not a wizard.
I know how to I know how teleportation works. I personally can't do it.
Well, for now, it'll get filed away to the to be figured out, along with Cypher's doppelganger spell file in her brain.
Very good. And I think we are actually going to call it here. We are going to say that dinner finishes up with you guys having some lively, spirited conversations about what the fuck just happened. And then we will pick back up next week, and I believe next week is the last week before Duo winter break, unless I am mistaken.
You're correct.
Okay. We will pick back up. Then we will hopefully have some one-shot stuff going on during Duo winter break. So make sure to keep an eye on all of our various social medias. Make sure to check us out on especially YouTube, the website formerly known as Twitter, Twitch, of course. Make sure to hit up our Discord server. We love hanging out with you guys. We love chatting and interacting with everybody. We play game nights every once in a while. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Ugh. And make sure to hit up Duo down in the description there. Poor little guy is his poor little dice habit, his little dice hoard is being slowly chipped away at by wood. And of course,
The number of times I've had to assist him with him having eaten dice is concerning.
yeah, it's why we gotta keep getting. It's why we gotta keep getting more for Duo, because the wood keeps stealing them. But just like every weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone and everything who does not abide to the human rules of bizarre gender stereotypes, there are 20 sides to every story, and roll for yours.